You love birds. You want to help them survive a harsh winter, or simply enjoy their beauty from your window. You fill your feeder with things you think are treats. But what if I told you the truth? That your kind menu is actually a slow death sentence. Today, we unmask the reality of the bird feeder. Bread is the most common treat given by humans. But it is also one of the worst things possible. It is like toxic junk food for their tiny bodies. It makes them feel full without providing any protein. Without fat. They cannot stay warm during the night. This leads to a tragic condition called angel wing. The wing bones grow too fast and become deformed, leaving the bird permanently unable to fly. Do not strip them of their primary ability to survive. Birds are tiny creatures with very sensitive systems. Just a few grains of salt can be lethal to them. Their kidneys cannot process excess sodium at all. It leads to dehydration and rapid kidney failure. If it tastes salty to you, it is pure poison to them. A kind gesture that backfires in the worst way. Birds do not possess the enzymes to digest lactose. They cannot break down the complex sugars in dairy. Drinking milk causes severe and life-threatening diarrhea. In the wild, this is an immediate death sentence. Fresh water is all they ever need. Never offer milk to a wild bird. Fat is energy. But not all fats are equal. Margarine contains unhealthy polyunsaturated fats. But the physical danger of grease is even worse. Grease destroys the waterproof structure of their feathers. A greasy bird will freeze to death in the cold. They lose their insulation, even on a full stomach. Not all birdseed in the store is high quality. Cheap mixes are often filled with red milo and wheat. These are fillers that most songbirds will not eat. They sit in the damp feeder and grow deadly mold. This mold produces a toxin called aflatoxin. Aflatoxin is a mass killer in the bird world. It leads to a slow and painful liver failure. You must clean your feeders every 2 weeks. There are no exceptions to this safety rule. Nectar feeders for hummingbirds are particularly risky. Natural honey can contain dangerous fungal spores. These spores cause the bird's tongue to swell up. They can no longer feed and eventually starve. In the sun, sugar water ferments into bacteria. With their high heart rates, toxins spread instantly. Change the nectar every 2 days, without fail. Fruit is healthy, but the seeds are a hidden trap. Apple and pear seeds contain small amounts of cyanide. A negligible amount for us is a lethal dose for them. Always remove the seeds before sharing your fruit. Kindness must be paired with scientific knowledge. Offer black oil sunflower seeds for high energy. Provide unsalted peanuts for essential proteins. Provide fresh and clean water every single day. You have the power to save lives in your garden. Choose the right way to show your love. Look at a visual comparison of a normal wing. See how angel wing twists the feathers outward. This is the direct result of a high-calorie diet. Avoid mixes with too much corn and flax. Focus on Niger and safflower for smaller finches. Suet is the ultimate fuel for winter survival. But dirty feeders bring another danger. Salmonellosis is a common bird feeder disease. It spreads through droppings left on the tray. Make a cleaning solution of 1 part bleach. Mix it with 9 parts of clean water. Scrub every corner, and let it dry completely. Never put fresh seeds into a wet feeder. Moisture is the best friend of lethal bacteria. For hummingbirds, use 4 parts water to 1 part sugar. Never use red dye in the nectar. Artificial coloring can cause tumors in small birds. The red color of the feeder itself is enough. Place your feeders at a safe distance from windows. Birds can be fooled by the reflection of the sky. Keep your feeder high to avoid stalking cats. High-calorie suet helps birds shiver to stay warm. Shivering is their only way to generate body heat. Watch for symptoms of illness in your visitors. A bird that stays puffed up for too long is sick. They are not just cold. They are fighting infection. Look for crusty or swollen eyes in the finches. If you see a sick bird, take the feeder down. Stop the outbreak before it kills the whole flock. Some garden berries are actually invasive and bad. Research which native plants provide real nutrition. Birds need grit to grind food without having teeth. Provide a small dish of sand or crushed eggshells. Eggshells also provide calcium during the nesting season. This helps mothers create strong shells for their eggs. Why do nestlings need bugs instead of seeds? Insects provide the rapid protein needed for growth. A lawn treated with chemicals kills these insects. Your garden becomes a food desert for baby birds. Keep the killers away from your backyard sanctuary. Supermarket bags of birdseed are often full of waste. You are paying for seeds that end up on the ground. Birds remember your house as a reliable food source. Once you start feeding in winter, you cannot stop. They depend on your schedule for their survival. If you go on vacation, find someone to fill the tray. Prepare them for the long flight south in autumn. High-protein mealworms are a powerhouse of energy. Soak dried mealworms in water to help hydration. Protecting the bird's resources is our collective job. Observe the social hierarchy at the feeder. Cardinals and jays will often dominate the space. Chickadees will wait patiently for their turn. A crowded feeder can increase stress levels. Stress makes their immune systems much weaker. If the birds suddenly stop coming, check for predators. A hawk might be using your feeder as a hunting ground. Move the feeder closer to thick bushes for cover. Give them a place to hide if a shadow appears. Report your sightings to local conservation groups. Understanding feathers is key to understanding birds. Down feathers provide the base layer of warmth. Contour feathers give the bird its streamlined shape. Primary feathers are the engines of flight. Birds spend hours every day preening themselves. They use their beak to zip their feathers back together. This keeps the waterproof seal tight and functional. They collect oil from the preen gland at the tail. This oil keeps the feathers flexible and strong. Hummingbirds use a process called torpor at night. They power down their metabolism to save energy. Their heart rate drops significantly to survive the cold. Keep your bird bath from freezing in the winter. Use a small heater or simply change the water often. Birds need to bathe even when it is freezing. Clean feathers are better insulators than dirty ones. Bread creates a nutrient hole in their daily diet. They feel full, but their body is slowly starving. Use only the no salt and no sugar kind of peanut butter. Artificial sweeteners like xylitol will kill birds instantly. It causes a massive drop in their blood sugar. Planting sunflowers is the best way to feed them naturally. Native berries provide the correct balance of fats. Feeders are becoming more important as habitats vanish. We are filling the gap left by urban development. Mapping the path of the birds you feed is fascinating. Some birds hide thousands of seeds for the winter. They have an incredible memory for hidden caches. They can find a single seed under a foot of snow. Listen to the alarm calls at the feeder. They warn each other when a cat is near. Shadows on the ground trigger an instant flight response. Watch the difference between house sparrows and finches. Invasive species can sometimes push out the natives. Managing your feeder helps maintain the balance. When the birds stop coming, investigate the cause. It could be a change in weather or a local disease. Find a local wildlife rehabilitator for sick birds. Never handle a wild bird with your bare hands. Use gloves and wash your hands thoroughly after. How do birds see your feeder from so far away? They have a secret world of 4 primary colors. They can see ultraviolet light that we cannot. Does the color red really attract hummingbirds? Yes. It signals a high-energy flower to their brain. Different birds eat at different levels of the forest. Towhees and juncos are traditional ground feeders. They prefer to scratch the dirt for fallen seeds. Chickadees and nuthatches prefer hanging feeders. Woodpeckers need an upright feeder for their tails. Their tails act as a tripod for stability while drumming. How ducks filter food through their specialized bills. They are not designed for large chunks of bread. Offer them sliced grapes or cracked corn instead. Oranges are a favorite for beautiful orioles. Bluebirds will come for pieces of fresh apple. Mealworms remain the protein powerhouse for many. Live mealworms are always better than dried ones. But dried worms are easier to store and manage. Raccoons and opossums might visit at night. If you live in bear country, take the feeder in. A bird feeder is a massive calorie prize for a bear. Buying seed in bulk can save you a lot of money. Keep the seeds in airtight metal containers. This prevents mice and rats from getting inside. Check the age of the seed in your garage. Rancid oils in old peanuts can be very toxic. If the bag smells sour, throw it away. Your bird bath should be no more than 2 inches deep. Add flat stones so birds have traction for their feet. The sound of moving water is a powerful magnet. Use a solar dripper to keep the water rippling. During a heat wave, water is more important than food. Feeding birds is a way to feed your own soul. It reduces human stress and connects us to nature. Science shows that bird watching improves mental health. Remove the 7 dangerous items from your yard today. No bread, no milk, no salt, and no honey. No salty fats, no cheap fillers, and no seeds with pits. What do you feed your local birds today? Support independent research for avian health. Every small action helps a species survive. Listen to the final sound of a morning chorus. It is the sound of a healthy and vibrant world. It is the reward for your careful and informed care. You are a steward of the environment in your own yard. The birds do not say thank you with words. They say it with their songs and their presence. They say it by returning year after year. Knowing who is at your table is a joy. Watch for the species most vulnerable to disease. Be the guardian they need in a changing world. Environmental factors can sometimes twist a bird's beak. This is often caused by malnutrition or pollution. Lead weights and old paint are hidden killers. Keep your garden clean of construction debris. How birds zip their feathers back to health. The preen gland is the source of their life. Without oil, they lose the battle against the rain. Hummingbirds are the tiny gems of the garden. They remember the exact location of your feeder. They will hover at the spot even if the feeder is gone. Do not let them down when they arrive. Keep the bath clean to stop the spread of mites. Why bread creates a nutrient hole in their growth. It is a biological tragedy disguised as a treat. Use only the safest ingredients for your visitors. Plant native flowers to provide a natural buffet. Feeders are a supplement, not a total replacement. Help them find their own way through the landscape. Understanding their path is a lifetime of study. How they hide seeds and find them months later. The intelligence of a bird is often underestimated. They are masters of spatial memory and flight. How they warn the flock of a cat in the grass. The hierarchy of the species is a complex social web. When the birds stop coming, pay close attention. They are the messengers of the health of your home. Thank you for listening to their silent needs. Good night, and keep the birds safe.